Innovation Park, a dynamic ecosystem fostering unprecedented innovation. The embodiment of leadership and the realization of futuristic visions. A global launchpad for emerging technologies and startups. A pioneering platform for the growth and promotion of sustainable practices. A ground zero for cutting-edge robotic solutions. Equipped with top-tier innovation facilities. A playground for additive manufacturing and 3D printing to flourish. A cradle for nurturing and empowering human capital. Fostering growth and knowledge in the younger generation. A nurturing space for startups and entrepreneurs. A hub promoting diversity and the advancement of women in technology. A nexus for productive networking and impactful business deals. SRTI Park. A fast lane for innovation where ideas gain momentum. Your partner in progress.
Your Excellency Sheikh Abdur Al-Qasimi, distinguished guests, good morning and welcome to the Women in Technology Forum. We are here today to celebrate and explore the pivotal role women are playing in shaping the future of artificial intelligence. My name is Ash Al-Khayyal and I will be your master of ceremony for today as we engage in meaningful conversations that will guide us toward a more inclusive and innovative future. At Sharjah Research, Technology and Innovation Park, empowering women in technology is not just a goal, but a mission, deeply woven into our vision of transforming Sharjah into a global hub for education, art, culture, and innovation. We firmly believe that when women lead in technology, they bring diverse perspectives that are crucial for driving sustainable development and creating opportunities that transcend borders. Today's event is a testament to our commitment to creating an environment where women can excel in the tech industry, particularly in the rapidly evolving field of AI. We have 4 panel discussions lined up for today. Without further ado, let us begin this informative journey together. We will commence our day with a welcome note by CEO of SRTI Park, His Excellency Hussein Al-Mahmoudi. Please join me in welcoming him on stage.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Highness Sheikh Abdur bin Sultan Al-Qasimi, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sharjah Research and Technology Park. It is an honor to stand before you today at the Women in Technology Forum 2024. This is our 5th edition of this forum, a platform that embodies our commitment to fostering innovation, creativity, and empowerment for all, particularly for those remarkable women and CEOs who are shaping the future in artificial intelligence. The world on the threshold of a great new revolution driven by AI. The AI industry is poised to exponential growth, projected growth of 37% per annum. In this scenario, we must ensure that women are at the forefront of this transformation and revolution. It is not just a matter of equity, it's a matter of excellence. Research by PricewaterhouseCoopers reveals that jobs requiring AI skill are growing faster than other sectors, offering up to 25 wage premiums. Yet, despite these opportunities, women currently occupy only 26% of data and AI roles globally. The gap is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity to redefine the future. And that's why we at SRTIP playing a forefront role to promote these objectives. At SRTIP, we are committed to seizing this opportunity by creating an environment where women can thrive, innovate, and lead. Our park is more than a research hub. It's a beacon of progress where the vision of Sharjah as a goal destination for art, culture, technology is brought to life. The strong female presence here is a testament to our dedication to gender equality and diversity and empowerment. We are proud to support women who are not only excelling in AI, but are also redefining the boundaries of what is possible in this rapid evolving field. Today's forum is a celebration of these wins. I must say this is our second event in almost a week. We had also an event last week with the American Embassy here, and we're very proud of this partnership. The entrepreneurs, the innovators, and the leaders who are making significant strides in AI. It is also a platform to exchange ideas, share best practice, share experience, and inspire the next generation of women who take active role in this dynamic industry. Our vision aligns perfectly with the broader goals of the UAE and Sharjah, where significant strides have been made in promoting gender equality, particularly in technology. In the UAE, women comprise 34% of these tech forces, a figure that is increasing thanks to the initiative of the forum. At SRTIP, we are proud to be part of the forefront of this movement, providing world-class infrastructure, resources, and support for women innovators. And this year we'll be focusing on 4 main topics, which are mobility, healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and sustainability. As we move forward, I'm confident that the insight of this discussion we have today will pave the way for more women to enter and excel in AI, driving sustainability, developing innovation, not in Sharjah only, but across the UAE. In conclusion, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Her Highness Sheikh Abdur bin Sultan Al Qasimi for her unwavering support and leadership in promoting the role of women in technology. Your vision, Your Highness, your commitment inspire us all to continue pushing the boundary of what is possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hussein. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all today as we begin this important event. Now, I'm honored to introduce the driving force behind many of Sharjah's transformative initiatives, Her Excellency Sheikh Abdur bin Sultan Al Qasimi, Chairperson of SRTIP.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, colleagues, good morning. I'd like to start by acknowledging some of the men in the audience today. Your support is invaluable for women in tech. Let's give them a round of applause. Recently, I came across a video that truly warmed my heart. It was a video of an 8-year-old girl coding on an AI platform called Cursor. She wasn't just coding, she was teaching viewers how to code through her video. I was moved. I was moved not because I saw a child channeling her time into learning a valuable and useful skill, but because it was a girl. This girl is starting her life in a world that's going through deep changes. We're witnessing the birth of what I believe can be described as a digital world order. This is a new era where technology dictates economic, social, and cultural dynamics, and where tech corporations and social media platforms hold significant, often unchecked power. As a human being, I often ask myself, what will they do with all this power? And as a mother of 3 girls, I wonder, where will my daughters fit into this new world order in the future? Historically, women have often been at the wrong end of humanity's evolution. We have been thrust into worlds where we didn't fit in, where we lacked the skills or power to voice our concerns and our opinions. And we've paid the price for it, time and time again. We know the risks when decisions, particularly those involving advanced technologies, are dangerously concentrated in the hands of a few men. History has shown us the consequences, but unfortunately, we continue to see the same results today. My support for women joining and leading the tech industry is no longer just a call for a seat at the table. It's an attempt to save us all. We cannot leave our future at the mercy of algorithms built without everyone's participation. If we fail to acknowledge the importance of women in tech, transitioning into a tech-driven world will be painful. However, embracing their role can make the journey smoother and more beneficial for everyone. Women must be integral to decision-making in tech and AI to ensure proper checks and balances. And so, my message to the fathers, to the brothers, to the husbands with us today: support your daughters, support your sisters, support your wives in pursuing STEM, engineering, and technology. Don't encourage them to gravitate towards the safe career paths or avoid risks. The young girl in the video I mentioned earlier could be your daughter or your sister, and she has the potential to create history and be a transformative figure. The only barrier she has is opportunity. With the right support and equal chances, she could become a pivotal voice in shaping AI ethics and advancing technology for the benefit of all. This will only happen if she and others like her are supported and are given a rightful place at the decision-making table. So let us be the creators of a future where our daughters and sisters are not only participating, but also shaping and influencing the world they live in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheikh Abdur, for the illuminating words. Our first panel discussion will explore the intersection of AI governance and gender equality. This conversation is essential as we seek to create a future where AI not only advances technology, but also upholds the principles of fairness and inclusion. I invite our panelists to the stage, Dr. Ibtisam Al-Mazrou'i, Her Excellency Dr. Hawa Mansouri, and our moderator is the Director of Government and Corporate Partnerships here at SRTI PAR. She's an expert in R&D and a scientist specializing in drug discovery, Dr. Asma Fikri.
Thank you, Aisha. And good morning, everyone. Your Excellency Sheikh Aboudur bin Sultan Al Qasimi, Your Excellencies and our esteemed guests, good morning and welcome to our 5th edition of the Women in Technology Forum, hosted by the Sharjah Research, Technology and Innovation Park. I would like to start today by introducing our distinguished panelists here. Her Excellency Dr. Hawa Mansouri is an experienced government leader in healthcare and foreign relations. She's a former member of the Federal National Council in the UAE. She's an inventor and entrepreneur. She is currently the Executive Director of Intramural Research at the Abu Dhabi Stem Cell Center. She is a board member at Sanduq Al-Watan and the founder and chairman of Sonistic. We also have Dr. Ibtisam Al-Mazrou'i, who's an expert, AI executive, and tech visionary. She is the founder and CEO of AIE3 and the chairperson of the executive board of the UN AI for Good Impact Initiative. And she is a member of Science and Engineering Advisory Board at Sorbonne University. Artificial intelligence has taken the globe by a storm in the past year. Its positive impacts on innovation, speed to market, and everyday decision-making are well known, bringing the potential of reshaping how people work today. However, what's less widely recognized is that AI also offers opportunities to accelerate inclusion and diversity. Others might argue that if AI is truly to meet the future needs of society, then more balanced gender representation in its design will be critical to avoid unintentional biases. So I guess let's start by addressing our panelists here and get to know more about this. And there is no better way than to start with our AI developer, Dr. Ibtisam. Welcome again. So, Doctor, who develops AI? What kind of data is it trained on? And does it really have gender implications when applied in AI-powered solutions?
Thank you, Dr. Asma. Maybe we should also introduce Dr. Asma. We are glad to have her here as the moderator.
Thank you so much.
In this important event. Assalamu alaikum, صباحكم الله بالخير. First and the most important thing, I would like to thank Her Highness Sheikh Aboudur for putting the immense effort in shaping women in tech in Sharjah, also having the global impact for women playing a leading role, not only in the tech and AI, but also in various research and education ecosystem here in Sharjah and United Arab Emirates. Thank you for Your Excellency Hussein Mahmoud for organizing this important event, and thank you for our esteemed guests who are joining us today, not only to value the important achievements for women in AI in UAE, but also to acknowledge what's the impact that women they can play in this important role. Go back to your question, Dr. Asma. Who develops AI today? Everyone, from engineers, scientists, data scientists, researchers, women and men as well. And as myself working on this specific domain, having the opportunity to establish a team working in AI, we always ensure that diversification and gender equality is there. Women, they have already the right education here in UAE, and also they have the motivation to nurture the ecosystem and putting UAE at the forefront. So placing the efforts to hire the women, put them in the leadership role to drive this transformative impact in AI is one of the important things. what impact the developments of AI model today is the data. For me, when I train, and my team, we are training AI models, data diversification is one of the most important things that you need to ensure. And here I give you example. Recently, or maybe last year, we heard about generative AI models, the ability of these models that they can generate audio, text, images. And I had a request because I was participating in a panel, and they want me to give them or to submit a high resolution portrait. So what I did, I used an AI-powered application to generate an image because I don't have the time to go to the studio, and I downloaded my image. Unfortunately, you can see how the output is already biased, not only towards the gender, but also towards the Western standards. Ensuring that in UAE, we are able, or in Arab countries, we have a woman that they are representative in the developments of these software advanced AI model is critical. Putting the ethical AI governance is one of the most important things because you can eliminate the bias and the gender equality in all of these outputs, and ensure the fairness is one of the most important things as well.
Thank you, Dr. Ibtisam. It's interesting you mentioned that because it brings us to our role model in technology, Her Excellency Dr. Hawa. Being a government and healthcare leader yourself, how does this global concern relate to women and their positioning in the UAE, considering that the UAE is leading AI development and it's also pioneering and championing women empowerment?
Thank you very much. Again, thank you, Your Highness, for having us here today. You're a great inspiration, and I don't think after the good doctor there's much to say. And thank you to everyone else for arranging, organizing. Thank you to the guests. I'm honored to be here. So if I may, take the liberty of starting somewhere where Doctora touched upon it, data. The truth is that no matter what era of humanity you're in, there is a risk of your information being biased. So let's go back before AI. Before AI, there was something boring called coding, programming, which is basically what AI is, except layered. And when you take crunch numbers in healthcare, let's stick to healthcare since that's my main field. You take numbers from healthcare and you assume that those numbers are accurate. You assume that there's a representation of each and every, part of society. Well, that's an assumption. It's not always accurate. I'll give you the simplest example, vitamin D. All of us, almost, have vitamin D deficiency. I have it, my relatives have it. But do you know what studies those are based on? Northern Europeans. So they decided, someone did, took a bunch of people, probably hundreds of thousands of millions, decided that this average number is normal, and then someone applied it to the rest of the world. Wait a minute, is that representative? I'll give you another piece of information. Anyone of a darker, let's call it, so I'm politically correct, of a darker shade of skin, or from those kind of equator areas, they have less osteoporosis. Why? They have less osteoporosis and they have the lowest average level of vitamin D on Earth. So there's something wrong. So this decision that vitamin D is normal at 50 or 75, whatever number you're using, is false. It doesn't make sense. The same guideline applies to AI. Not good data in equals not good data out. So I think, to go back to your question, we are at a great time. We have an incredible opportunity as a country, as women, to not just take part, but to shape it. We can actually shape the future of how this is used, how it's applied, how accurate is it. And it will take all of us to be honest. I find that I, as a woman, have a great opportunity now to speak, to say, by the way, this is a boring tidbit that if you actually program into AI, it will cost economically incredible numbers because it'll give you wrong information and wrong outcomes and perhaps not the best decisions. So we need to be brave, admit the weaknesses of the data, the weaknesses of the system, and as women, step forward. I was just telling Her Highness how One day someone was telling me how I could possibly do a certain role. I came home and I got scared. You see, bravery isn't the lack of fear. It's taking that step even though you are afraid. And do you know who gave me like the encouragement, I suppose, in that very moment? It was my husband. He looks at me as I'm saying, why me? And he says, why not you? What's the problem? Do you know less? Are you less qualified? So whether it's on that small level or on a leadership level or on a world stage, what I want to tell all women and even men, we're a team, but we have a golden opportunity. Grab it. Don't be afraid to tell yourself, I am good enough. I can do this. I can code with the best of them. My 2 children do Scratch. They're 4 and 6 years old. And they're girls. And they're very excited about it. They have a Lego crane that they coded. It's like they put it together and they use an iPad to code it. But you know what was hanging off of the edge of the crane? A Barbie doll. There's nothing wrong with that. You're still coding. So what I want to say is that the same kind of biases that existed still do. We just have an opportunity to have learned from it and to put in the right information to shape a better future for everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Hawa. I think we're lucky in science. We always take everything into consideration, so maybe that's a skill that comes handy in this case. Dr. Ibtisam, you've developed many AI models such as Noor, Noor Arabic, and Falcon. So in your technical work, can we really shape how AI technology is going to be equitable and unbiased? And do we really see the implications in the real world, or is it something that is just a hype today?
There are many techniques, of course. So when we start as an AI developers and engineers, what we do is we do data curation and data processing. And this is the most critical thing that we do. So, and what we pay attention to is from where we are getting this data, what is the source? In general, human being is always biased. And our goal and the ultimate goal, even with developing these generative AI model, is this advanced AI model will be less biased than the human being, especially in certain small group, representative group, and societal and cultural representation. And what we do is we have several things. The first thing is what we ensure from where we are getting our data. This is the first point. The second point is the diversification of your team members. So when you establish a team of engineers, you have to ensure that we have different people who are not working only on the AI developments and cleaning the data, but also putting the governance. And women are there in the team. And different cultural representation is important because you ensure the output of the advanced AI model is representing the global populations. And this is the most important thing because when we roll out these advanced AI model, everyone is using it. ChatGPT recently released the Strawberry model or the advanced GPT 4.01, which is based on reasoning. Still, we are developing and further enhancing the capabilities of these AI model. It's not there yet to the super intelligent system that we need them to go to. And what we are afraid of as a scientist and as an engineers is one, we don't understand how this output is come, which is for your information, now we don't understand how these AI model, they are creating this output. Even we design and engineer them. So putting the ethical framework, ensuring that the developments has enough gender equality and cultural diversification in training these important model is important. Putting the guardrails in developing these advanced AI model is important. Maybe last week we heard about the partnership of Microsoft and Group 42 in developing 2 research centers in Abu Dhabi. One of them is called AI for Good, which is another Microsoft AI for Good center, which will be established here. And the second one is responsible AI. Why we need responsible AI is to tackle all of these technical issues that we have, including the gender equality, including the cultural bias, including the misinformation representation, because what we need to is we need to roll out this advanced AI model and ensure that anyone who is utilizing and using this advanced model, they have the right information. And just to add for your information, maybe this is from Noor. Noor was the first Arabic LLM model that has been released in 2022. One of the major challenges that we faced at that time, before even ChatGPT release, is we don't have enough Arabic data set. So what we try to do, of course, having people working, understanding our Arabic language, different dialects is important, because when you have in your team enough representation, you ensure even the information that you got from the internet or from the media or from public information is already representing your culture, your society differences. So this is one of the most important things that also we do. And the last thing, as well as auditing and also putting, retrain the output from that. So whenever you train these advanced AI model, we test it. So we have benchmark, and the only people who can give you a new benchmark is people who understand what is the output. Is it really good or bad for us? So we can play a critical role in shaping the advance and the frontier of AI model by introducing new benchmarks that when we test these public or open source LLMs or open source generative AI model, we test it against our own benchmark. And I think this is a niche area where all the R&D centers, they can play a critical role, so we can create our own benchmark before even rolling this technology to the markets.
I think you've put that very simply. I am biased, but I am enjoying this conversation. I hope everybody is. We had an offline discussion, and we thought that we wanted it to be more organic. Dr. Hawa, during our offline discussion,
Oh, God.
you brought up a very, you argued the validity of assuming that AI will be biased unless developed otherwise. And so, in that line of thinking, drawing from your own experience studying and working in science, do you think that women in tech should take steps in advance to address this issue, or should we be more optimistic in that regard?
Well, always optimistic.
Great.
نتفائل بالخير طال
Inshallah.
So, just to rephrase that, I guess the best way to say it is don't walk into a room assuming that you will not be listened to, or even heard, not listened to, heard. Because you know what? Sociology has proven if you walk in with that attitude, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I just warned that assuming things, again, same as bias, is not the right road to go. Yes. In terms of an important point about the teamwork, I'll come back to that. I forget her name, but the TEO of OpenAI is a woman. And do you know what she said was the most important thing to get there, to achieve it? Teamwork. Means the team she was in, representative as best you can. You're not going to represent every single subcategory of every single subculture. But if you at least make the effort, then your basic system will not be as biased. As you said, human nature is biased. It's the way we're programmed. And then you can fine-tune it depending on whatever use it's for, which goes back to the point Dr. Ibtisam made, very accurate. As a physician, I can tell you that I have trained, I will not name the AIs, I have trained some, and they do very well, but once in a while they still make a mistake that I am terrified, I'm petrified, that the person on the other end using it will not catch. So one of the challenges of AI training is, as I understand it, is the expertise. That increases the cost, that increases the difficulty, because the number of expertise people you need to get in the room to deal with 15 billion or 150 billion data points, it's crunching huge numbers, to try to make it less biased is already a challenge. But keeping it in mind is important. There's a difference between keeping it in mind and assuming. The other point I made on the phone with you was that assuming makes you almost on the other side of the table, makes you the enemy. Why in meetings do I sometimes, because I see my team, the other team, no matter what it is about, I purposely sit on the other side. Okay, sometimes I pretend it's an accident. It's not. It's because you have more acceptance of what you're saying, even if they don't have to agree with you, but they hear you more. If it's not an us versus them, it's a team effort. There's always going to be someone that doesn't want to. Well, the checks and balances will shift them out. But we need to go in with the right attitude. Do women need to be more represented? Yes, absolutely. To achieve that balance, to achieve that representation, because every med tech, the best investment firms in the world, I will not name them because I'm not supposed to name companies, who have made insane amounts of money will tell you one thing: their board is diverse. It has women, it has men, old, young. They have engineers and they have doctors. They have med tech people and they have investors. And they have the best results. Obviously, you have to choose the right person from each category, not just anyone. But in the end, you do get a better result. And that's, I think, the opportunity the UAE really is leveraging right now. We have over, 220 nationalities, peoples of all ages, backgrounds, educated, less educated, technical, not technical. I mean, I love going even to the park because I don't know who I'm going to bump into. And if we can do our very best, which we are, to have people represented as best we can, we will, like you said, doctor, we won't just walk the walk, we will shape it, we will build that road, and we will be the shining example for others to follow. And like Sheikh Saif Al-Amra said at the World Government Summit, I think, I had the honor of being in the third row when he said, there's nothing wrong with saying, يمكن نحن أدرى, maybe we know better, because that is based on fact and enthusiasm and optimism, very different from arrogance, and we prepare for everything.
That's really inspiring, Dr. Hawa. Dr. Ibtissam, from your role in AI for Good Impact Initiative, can you tell us more what you're doing there and how can that shape AI in the future, and would that have implications for women and gender equality?
One of the most important things that even UAE leadership invested in is sustainable development goal since the establishment of our nation. And it was one of the main things that we are working on, how at the same time when I developed advanced technology, not necessarily in AI, but in transportation, in different sectors, I still can have sustainable development, and I can shape my economy to be the most important, that it can play a critical role in shaping the region, not only in a regionally, but also in a global also scale. Today, UAE is playing a critical role in shaping the future of technology, not only regionally, but also globally. Why is that? Because we focus on sustainable development goal. AI for Good itself, that it stems and it works towards the 17th sustainable goal for the United Nations. One of the most important goals is gender equality, capacity building, education, healthcare. AI is playing an important and critical role in shaping all of these sectors, especially when I am saying AI for Good, as AI or training advanced AI model that has better knowledge, the most advanced education curriculums, all of the R&D research that has been already implemented in this advanced AI model, taking that model to the developing countries where they have limited access to education. Women can have better quality of education. They can have better opportunities in STEM fields. The second part is when I say AI for Good, AI to develop AI tools to enhance the healthcare system, especially for breast cancer. When I train AI machine to detect a cancer based on the, let's say, that pre-trained images, we can utilize this one to detect earlier what we can face as women, especially in the health care domain.
Thank you, Dr. Ibtisam. I think we're full of hope because the fact that we're sitting here, the three of us today, says a lot to all the women in the audience. And at the same time, I think I'd love to sit here and talk to you for hours, and I don't want to take more time from other panelists. So just to wrap up this very insightful and really engaging panel, Dr. Hawa, do you have a final note, a word of wisdom to the girls and the ladies and the men, the fathers, the husbands, the brothers in the audience today to take with them and, you know, as...
No pressure. Yes, I do. I want to tell every person out there that no matter what your background, you have a role to play. I have heard too many people tell me, who am I? I am not an engineer. I am not a programmer. Whether it's a mother at home or anyone, we all have a role to play. When I see those two little girls of mine with that Barbie hanging up of the crane, I'm like, wow, you know, there's the future right there. To the fathers and brothers, I can't thank you enough. In my life, I've been very lucky. I've had a father that, God rest his soul, believed in me. I have relatives that have always encouraged me. I've had mentors, men and women, who have stood up for me and given me opportunities that were absolutely out of this world. I have had challenges as well. Nothing is rosy or all rosy, but those challenges are what makes us stronger. So I ask everyone, whether you're the end user, because you also have a role, we're creating this for what? For humans, for humanity, to serve you. You can tell us what you need. What do you need AI to do? I mean, in genomics, you mentioned it, cancer prediction. In images, it was the fastest area. It's very accurate. It's always been very accurate. It's more accurate than humans ever could be. There's much more complex things like genomics, because we don't understand genomics yet. We don't know what every gene is doing. So guess what? AI is not going to fix that. We still need you. We need you to feed the information. We need you to clean it up. We need you to use it and tell us what it's doing. We need to hear every person's voice. And thank you for being a team. Let's walk, as I always say, together to the future as one, because in the end, the outcome will be better, and it's going to affect all of our lives. So let's do it.
Believe in yourself. We in UAE, we are glad to have leadership who already put education is the priority for this nation. I was privileged to study all my life here in UAE. Our education is not less quality than the education that we get from outside. What it makes a difference is the motivation and inspiration. And we already developed advanced AI and tech solution and it already compete with the global tech companies. We can do it. Together always we can shape a better future, not only in the AI and tech sector, but also in all the sustainable developments ecosystem.
Thank you, Dr. Ibtisam. Thank you, Dr. Hawa, for this enlightening conversation. Your esteemed guests, thank you for listening through, and we're looking forward to the rest of the panels and more conversations to come. Thanks.
Thank you, panelists. Our second panel of the day will focus on the role of AI in women's health, particularly as a preventive solution. I invite our panelists to the stage, Dr. Mohammed Al-Amri, Dr. Sheikh Al-Mazrou'i, Sheikh Dr. Ali Al-Qasimi, Dr. Hiba Al-Hmeidan.
Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, Sheikh Abdur Al-Qasimi, esteemed guest, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. At the beginning, I'm sure you're surprised to see a man on stage. I must admit, thank you. I must admit, it feels like being the only human in a conference for AI. I'm surrounded by brilliance. So with that, I want to welcome everyone to our panel discussion today titled Women's Health AI as Preventative Solution. My name is Mohammed Al-Amri, and it's my pleasure to serve as the moderator today. In an era where technology is rapidly transforming our lives, and the intersection of artificial intelligence and healthcare presents a unique opportunity to revolutionize health and women's health, to be specific. And today, inshallah, we'll explore how AI is being leveraged to address specific challenges in women's health. And I'm really thrilled to introduce, well, I was supposed to introduce you, everyone, but I was told that everyone should introduce themselves. So that's what I'm going to do. So please, Sheikh Dr. Ali.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Sheikh Abdur, thank you very much for your continuous support of women in all sectors and of all ages, everywhere and anywhere you go. Thank you very much for inviting me to this very important platform, I would say, that sheds the light on the importance of the women's role in making anything move forward. And just to give you a little background about myself, I am an obstetric gynecologist who have recently, not recently, maybe that's more than 10 years, went into the field of aesthetic and functional gynecology. And the reason from that did not start from my role in medicine. It actually started when I started working in the social sector as a social development expert, where I worked closely looking into the society and the challenges that women may face in keeping their family together. And that sparked an opportunity and made me search, how can I stand out? I don't want to be just another doctor who is working in the social field. And from there, I carry 2 masters, a master's in healthcare management, and recently graduated with a master's in international business law. And trust me, technology played a big role throughout that. A mother of 5. Amazing. Who love technology. And I own 2 apps, one in the healthcare sector and the other is in logistics.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Dr. Sheikha.
السلام عليكم.
ما يسمع صوت.
ثانك يو شيخ بدور، شكرا دعوتكم لنا اليوم في هذا المكان وهذه القمة الرائعة. فرصة طيبة أن نلتقي فيها مع الشخصيات اللي لعبت دور كبير حقيقة في دولة الإمارات وفي الشارجة بالخصوص لدعم جهود المرأة وخاصة في قطاع ال AI. I am Dr. Sheikh Al-Mazrou'i with a background of molecular genomics. Proud to say I got my bachelor and master's from the UA University the mother of universities in the UAE. And after that, I joined King's College London to do my a new field of regenerative medicine, where I studied liver transplant using hepatocyte and stem cells. And recently I gained my new master's with the stem cell from bench to market. And that really gave me a wide perspective how to take products from the bench to the market. And being at the field of genomics in the UAE here, we witnessed a lot of advancement in the field of the genomics, and we have seen how the AI really empowered the genomics, not only from the perspective of sequencing the data, but from the analytical side, which we will highlight on more in this panel. Proud to be here, and thank you for having me today. Special thanks to Dr. Farid. He was a big supporter for me and inviting me to this summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dictora.
I think this works. Hello.
Dictora Heba. Perfect.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. أنا اسمي هبة سعود الحميدان. My name is Dr. Heba Saud Al-Hmeidan. I'm a pathologist. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you very much for supporting Dr. Badour for supporting such a meeting. It's a privilege being here among colleagues. My journey. Okay, where do I start? I'm very proud to be a UAE national that's supported by our government for years, since I was 17 years old. I don't want to tell you how old I am right now, but it's been years and years and years where I have been given scholarships to study in multiple organizations worldwide. I learned a lot in this country. I learned a lot internationally, and I'm very, very privileged to have been given this opportunity. I went to College of Surgeons in Ireland, and afterwards I did my residency in clinical pathology, and so I'm board certified in clinical pathology from the United States. Plus I went to Yale University to do my transfusion medicine and blood banking fellowship. So I'm double board certified, and without this lovely country, I wouldn't have achieved and become where I am at the moment. Currently, I'm the chair for the Department of Lab Medicine and Pathology in Dubai Health, and I'm proud to be part of their family and with their transformation at the moment. And hopefully during our panel, I will discuss with you all the beautiful, brilliant ideas that we have in pathology and in imaging, and how AI is definitely the future. Thank you very much.
Very much. It is definitely the future. So I'll start with you, Sheikh Dr. Alia. As a healthcare professional, how do you think AI can help empower women to make informed decisions about their health, especially when it comes to treatments and preventative care in gynecology?
AI has played a very big role in precision analyzing and detection of many diseases and many conditions. And we always aim for prevention. As we know, it is less expensive to prevent than to actually treat. It has played AI has played a vital role in many conditions related to women. If we talk about breast cancer, it has played a very big role in the diagnosis and early detection and risk assessment. But it all depends on what information is actually shared, as Dr. Hawa earlier mentioned. The more information, the better it can perform its role. In breast cancer detection and assessment, risk assessment, AI has played a role in reading all these data sets and previous images and combining between mammograms and MRI to give a more precise diagnosis. And this enables the doctors to make a better decision and have the patient involved of where and how and what type of intervention she would need. If we move on to cervical cancer, and I would like to highlight the things that put the woman at risk. First, cervical cancer. Previously, a pap smear result would come out in 6 weeks, 6 weeks kills a patient waiting rather than her waiting for her actual result. This has improved with genetics and histopathology and has brought the wait time down to 2 weeks. But now with AI, there are tools there, may they be out or they are under testing, where such a decision could be made in clinic. Imagine how much time you have saved. Imagine a patient walking in, having her pap smear done, walks out with what she needs to do. Is she gonna sleep peacefully this night, knowing that she needs to check up in 6 months? Or she needs immediate intervention, which has to be done within the coming 10 days. In maternal health, a lot of the diagnosis can be done even before she gets pregnant. If this child is going to be at risk, feeding the medical history and following up the patient through family planning clinics can detect her risk and make healthcare professionals more attentive and when to intervene during that pregnancy. I can go on into its effect on osteoporosis, menopause management, fertility, and especially with cases of PCOS. We have studies locally that have showed more than 70% of teenagers have undiagnosed PCOS, and they would attend to the clinics either with irregular cycles or later on late inability to conceive, inability to get pregnant, and that's when we see them. Now, if we were able to detect these signs early, then a lifestyle change and our awareness messages to these young girls would start from school, or maybe even earlier. And AI definitely has a big role to play there, especially that the metrics that it depends on are very basic. Your morning temperature, the temperature when you first wake up, your day-to-day lifestyle, your habits. These things, once they are, this data, once it's documented and shared out there, has a huge impact in changing the path of every girl. This doesn't require a lot, because even the simple application, I believe we all have mobiles. Even a simple application that's there with every mobile, or at least iPhones, is the health app. How many of you really feed that app with the information that it asks for? It's very simple. That can be integrated with the more complicated or complex apps that the specialized people are working on to give us best results and better pathways in the future.
Amazing. Amazing to see AI is already integrated with healthcare at the moment. So I can't wait to see what it can do in the near future. And speaking of diagnosis, I'm going to jump to Dr. Heba. So just to let you know, Dr. Heba was one of my amazing bosses at one stage of my life. So,
colleagues.
Boss. Dr. As Dr. Alia mentioned, that AI is already used in diagnosis. So how can AI help turn the latest research as well in healthcare into practical treatments for clinics and hospitals? And what is the potential here for AI when it comes to research?
Okay, the potential is enormous. Let's start with that. You mentioned research, you mentioned diagnostics. It's all one circle, one cycle. You start with research, you identify potentials, you change clinical practice, you start looking at all of our patients, you research it again, and it's a continuous cycle and continuously growing, continuously changing. Now, you mentioned a very important point when it comes to speed. Speed is critical, and sometimes AI has the greatest advantage of not just accuracy, but delivering things in a timely manner and delivering it with great accuracy with the review of research articles that can be so massive. So when it comes to research, there are multiple different ways where AI can tap in. you can actually look into your research project that you are working on at the moment, and those research projects need as data sets. It's all about data, and data need to be analyzed. Data can be analyzed within days, weeks, months, sometimes years. These research can take years, and sometimes there are specific patterns that cannot be recognized by expert, or they are so subtle that you need the help of those kind of algorithms and computers. And well, I'm not a tech person, so I'm sorry if I'm using terminologies incorrectly, but as an end user, I will tap into AI, I will tap into those platforms and those machine learning algorithms when I'm looking into my research projects. Another thing that we can use AI in is when we review the literature, not with your current research project that you're working on that can accelerate the transformation into clinical applications, but in addition to that, it can review the literature. Hello? Okay. So it can review the literature, thousands of articles, clinical trials, in a fraction of the time that will take a human to do so. And when it does that, it gives you the alert of the new advances, of new technologies, of new regulations, evidence-based medicine that you can incorporate into your pathways when it comes to treating patients, preventing, in prevention and in diagnostics. So it starts with research, and then it transforms and goes to clinical applications. And when it goes into those clinical applications, the sky is the limit, honestly. There are clinical applications in making personalized treatment plans for our patients. It can get into the personalized preventive plans for our patients in addition to the diagnostics. When it comes to the clinical part, there is decision support tools, and there is so many applications that can factor in multiple points, data sets that a physician might only look at one or two, but by using AI engines, you will be able to look at the human as a whole, their lives, their lifestyle, their blood work, their imaging, their past medical history, their genetics. There is so much. Again, the sky is the limit. Now, when it comes to diagnostic, I mean, you've alluded to a lot of different applications, and it is heading towards, I wouldn't say it's developed fully. We are way just scratching the surface. But when it comes to diagnostics, it's there in imaging with radiology. It's there within pathology, both histopathology and in the clinical pathology field. In histopathology, we actually look at pap smears. And again, what do we do at the moment? We look at the smear. One technologist will sit and will look at a maximum of 100. That's per regulations. You cannot look at more than 100. So it is, you can imagine the type of work and the number of hours that a technologist should spend screening those slides. At the moment, there are even approved platforms that would look at the slides in a high throughput in a fraction of the time and will give an alert to the pathologist. This slide looks like there is some precancerous patterns. There is cancerous patterns. Please review. So there are already those platforms out there. We're planning to procure actually a new software, which is the first FDA-approved software for screening female and pap smears and digitalization. So we are already doing this in the pathology field, and not just in cytopathology, in addition to histopathology, imaging, identifying patterns, subtle patterns. All of that is definitely the future. Of course, there is so much in women health other than, you know, breast cancer, ovarian, as Sheikha mentioned, that there is so many applications, and we can tap into each and every one of them. If I start talking, I will talk till tomorrow morning. So probably I should stop now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dictora. So we spoke about diagnostics and we spoke about research. Now I think it's the right time to talk about the translation between two, and this comes with the Emirati Genome Project. So as Dictora Sheikha, you've worked in big projects such as the Emirati Genome Project. How do you think AI can help bring important discoveries from research labs into everyday bedside healthcare for women and human?
Thank you, Mohammed. Of course, as both doctors said, when it comes to disease or health, there are two main elements here: time and the quality of service you will provide to your patient, and both are very critical. And finding a way to give accurate diagnosis will help you to give a better healthcare service, and that's what your patient is aiming to have from the healthcare service. Of course, with the presence of the AI, things have been dramatically changed to a positive way in terms of time and in terms of quality. So, you are from the genomic field, Mohammed. You remember that we used to sequence a couple of days to get the sequence results, and then to analyze the data out of the sequencing took us ages. A couple of decades, we were able to do a sequencing in a month to a couple of weeks. Nowadays, we are capable to do the sequencing within hours and to analyze the data within hours, which is with the support of the AI. Without the AI, things would have not been possible, honestly. All the cutting-edge research tools in the genomics fields are depending mainly on the AI to produce the quickest sequencing tool and to analyze the data. But there are mainly two things we need to have it in place before getting all that service available. Having the infrastructure. And myself and Mohammed, during the pandemic, we were in UK, and our leadership advised all the students to come back to the UAE to make sure that we are all safe. And it was my final year during my PhD, and I said, it's not the time, wallah. I want to finish my PhD. So we had to come back. I didn't know when we are going back to proceed with my PhD. So I decided to join G42, and I found that they are starting the genome project in the UAE. In the beginning, I thought I will be in a lab, well, a couple of sequencing machine, and we'll start doing the extraction sequencing. Honestly, I was amazed. ما توقعت. I entered the Omics Center, the only place on planet where you will find the 3 world-leading sequencing technologies: الصيني MGI, الأمريكي Illumina, البريطاني ONT. The top best competing technologies are in UAE. Imagine the requirement of the infrastructure to bring all these technologies to the UAE, and the amount of money to be spent on these machines. It's not cheap. Sequencing machines are in billions. Not only that, you got the machines, you need a supercomputing cloud to store the data. The amount of the data will be generated out of this project is huge, and there is no way to analyze them without the AI. So the UAE also bought the 26 Artemis supercomputing cloud in the world to analyze this data. And with the power of the AI, the UAE were able to sequence almost now 700 sample of the UAE population, which is the largest number on the world, never been conducted in a short period of time in a place in the world. And I'm so proud to witness all this development in the UAE with the guidance of our leadership. Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. So you mentioned best technologies, best, let's say, sequencers. So we have genome data and we have healthcare data as well. So we have. It's clear that we have a vast amount of AI data, of data that can be used for AI. So I think I'll ask you, Dictora, how, like with this vast amount of data, how do we ensure that the patient data is used ethically and securely, while at the same time making sure that we're utilizing AI as much as we can?
You know, Mohammed, this remains a continuous risk.
It is.
The data is there, the strategy is there. The board or the council that overlooks the execution of the strategy is there. But patient privacy is still, I would say, somewhat of a red zone of how much you can share. Unless a person shares that information then somehow you will be crossing that privacy and security line. So I think maybe focusing in the first stage, which is what's happening now, is on the results, the images, data that will actually empower the people. And maybe, and I'm sure one day we will reach the point where we will be comfortable to share more of the patient personal data. The more images are there, the better results, the more improvement and all that. What I wanted to say was, oh my God, I just lost the... in regards to data, the privacy.
Privacy, yeah.
Yes, the privacy will always be a risk. I mean, a lot of the AI, as we see AI, either it's AI enabled tool or AI analyzing the information that is there. If we focus on that for now, and the speed of how this is analyzed, as we said previously weeks, and now it's few hours, we will reach that safe zone of sharing the information probably soon, because we all fear what we don't know. What if it leaks? What if it's used against me? It is so smart. We look at all that, but we sometimes tend to forget that it's smart because it's also at some point revised by the human to ensure it's still on track. So I think.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'll jump to Dr. Sheikha just for a second, because I've seen a lot of LLMs now that can interpret genomics. So one of the main questions that we get asked a lot is that should those LLMs be available for patients as well as physicians, or only physicians?
Well, it's a hard question, Mohammed. But I think LLM is a machine learning. It will take whatever you put in it. Anything you will feed it, it will take it. It will not distinguish whether this is a correct information or a wrong information, as Dr. Hawa said. So feeding this machine learning with the correct information is the main thing. If you give it the correct information, it will give you the correct interpretation. And based on that, you will build your diagnostic treatment plan for your patient.
You didn't answer the question.
It has to be regulated.
You didn't answer the question.
It has to be regulated. And I don't think patient could advise.
Yeah.
Because they are the patient, they are having the journey. They can tell us what benefited them, what did not benefit them. But I think it has to be regulated from a perspective that this machine learning has to be fed with the correct information and with the correct algorithm, actually. So expert has to feed it,
yes,
not
definitely.
the patient.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. So, Dictora, again, one of let's say this is one of the hurdles, let's say, of using AI, Dictora. So what do you think, as someone who's in, let's say, industry/academia since now Dubai Health, so what are the biggest hurdles that AI faces in healthcare adoption, and how can, let's say, the industry or academia overcome them?
So it's been touched upon earlier on in the previous panel, all the different challenges that can be faced, that you can face when AI. Those challenges includes of course, the data sets that you feed in, how this AI engine has been built, has it been validated, is it transparent, were you inclusive of all different groups and population of people, women versus men, did you diversify those information that fed into your AI engine before letting it out there for the public to use? Now, AI can be in two settings. In the setting of healthcare professionals, and if I remove the hat of a healthcare professional and put the hat of a woman that just wants to tap into an application that monitors my different lifestyle and my risks and give me recommendations. So there are two different ways. When it comes to healthcare, you need to be very cautious in utilizing these AI engines. It has to be approved, regulated. You need to know how it's been built, how does it will affect affect your clinical setting, what type of data that goes into it. If you don't get that approval, then you cannot use it in the clinical setting. You still can, but it will still fall under the umbrella of research. So you're still researching, you're still looking into the different technologies and see how you can develop them and how you can advance them. So that's the main challenge that we do face. It's much easier when you're, for example, a regular human being opening up Apple Store, downloading a specific application that monitors your heart rate, that looks at your sleep pattern, that looks at your blood work. If you feed in the blood work in there, your medical records, your family history, it's an amazing tool. It might give us an alert, but a word of caution, you always need to go back to the healthcare professional to validate those recommendations, whether the recommendations is preventive or whether it's treatment. I would always say, my final note would be, AI will never replace a human being. This is what we always fear of. Are they going to, now they're they. Is AI going to replace us? Is AI going to cause us, to let some people go? People do fear digitalization, AI solutions, all of that in healthcare. Let's be honest. However, what we would say, AI will never replace a human being, but a human being, a pathologist, a healthcare professional, a radiologist who taps into AI tools, who understand AI, who uses AI as a source that complements them, will be a more advanced, a more superior healthcare professional.
Exactly what I wanted to ask. So keep the mic with you, Dr. So how can we strike this right balance between human and machine? You said that we need the balance, but where do we know where the balance is? And is it like based on the individual, or is it like a profession based on the profession? So like where do we put that line?
I think all of us are responsible to understand what tools we're using, whether I'm an individual, a patient, whether I'm a healthcare professional. Yeah. Put some trust in the AI engine. I don't say don't trust them, but you need to validate it at the moment. Maybe down the road in the future, it will, I don't know. There are some engines that actually are approved to replace humans, but we still don't do that because there are years to come to really, really, really be, what do I say? What's the word for it? To really trust. I mean, the trust is there, but to trust it to the level where you remove the human from the equation, no. So it's our responsibility to actually identify the solutions that are transparent, that we know how it's built. It's very important. Know how your AI engine is built. I'm not a tech person, but I would try my best to understand, did you build it in a way where it included women, for example, not just a group of men looking at different data sets. A big example in that is cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease in women, very different than cardiovascular disease in men. The way it presents in women, very different than the way it presents in men. It's actually missed in women most of the time. There are subtle differences and changes in your vital signs, your blood pressure, your ECG changes, all of that. There are so many different data sets that need to be looked at for you to give an alert. Oh, the woman, this particular patient might actually have a heart disease, or maybe we need to look deeper and do more studies. So understand your AI engine, understand what it's capable of doing, understand if it had included the diverse population, and that's how you choose your AI engine in healthcare system.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dictora. So I think we have like 10 minutes left, but I'd like to end it with this question. And I think this question will be to everyone, Doctor. So in what areas of healthcare do you see AI having the greatest potential to make an impact or a huge impact in the next 5 to 10 years? So where are we going to see AI where, let's say, patients are not going to need to, let's say, interact with physicians or scientists in the next 5 to 10 years? I'm just saying, I'm just asking. So, please.
I think they always need to interact. as humans, we need to interact. Otherwise, we'll all be like isolated from the world. Where we see it, I mean, we see it happening now in diagnostics, whether radiology and imaging or in pathology. That is, we're already there. So just more to give on that side. I would like to share a study that has been published less than 2 weeks ago in the Bahamas. It's actually initiated from Dubai Health Authority, a colleague of ours, which focused on mental health. Mental health is a big thing. And it focused on mental health, and it ran across 10 countries. 300 to 600 individuals joined the research and consent to be part of it, using that AI tool on their day-to-day. And that was done on professionals, so mainly doctors and those working in the healthcare. Now, that's very important. We're talking about the core of healthcare and prevention and all. So it took those healthcare professionals through those research. I mean, the findings were shocking. Women were at higher risk than men to have mental health issues because we're expected to do more. We're expected to give more. We're expected to give more in all our roles beyond just in healthcare by being a doctor.
Don't you think that's a bit biased with the data that was given?
I don't think so. Leave AI aside. Just as a woman, look at the role you do.
Sure.
You're always, I mean,
No,
what
I
made
trust
us-
the study. It's just that the panel was talking about bias. The whole panel was about bias, but we're not mentioning it now.
We could be biased, but even away from AI, I mean, as a woman, يعني Allah خلقنا giving.
True, that is true.
Allah خلقنا giving, whether you're a daughter, a mother, a sister, a granddaughter. So take that with you to the profession. Take the giving to your profession. You just give it in abundance. So it does pressurize the women. And 2.2% of women were at a higher risk of even suicide. Now, this was across 10 countries, different culture, different beliefs. It says something, but I think the more we have such researches taking place across countries to ensure inclusion and involvement, then the results would definitely be less biased.
Inshallah.
Yes. So it will be there, and in-office diagnostics, I think, is somewhere that would definitely see a difference in, and tailored treatment and management plans would definitely be enriched with this data, and you'd be able to attend and spread awareness better in the healthcare sector.
Inshallah. Dr. Sheikha?
Going back to your answer, Mohammed, يعني speaking about myself, I don't think I will accept to go to a hospital to speak to a machine. يجاوبني يقول لي فيك هالمشكلة وخلاص روحي خذي هالدواء. It's very important element إنه يكون في emotional element to encourage you إنه you will be fine, you will fight this disease, you can prevent it, you can. Many people have been through this, so this emotional feeling is always important. However, في بعض المناطق في العالم اللي وجود الأطباء فيها limited. Such technology could help this population to give them at least the minimal vital information, their pressure, blood pressure, heart rate. And now we are seeing a lot of technologies utilizing the AI and digitization to give your answer about your. يعني شفنا التطبيقات اللي طلعت ان انت تفتح الاب ياخذ صورة الوجه within 20 seconds. It gives you your pressure, your temperature, your vital signs. This is really good for someone في البيت صعب انه يروح المستشفى. He can give the doctor, the physician, a quick interaction where his doctor in the hospital can tell him what he needs to do immediately. So there is a need for these tools in the field of medicine, of course. But again, human presence is really important. موضوع longevity, this is something I really like to tap in. إذا تسمحوا لي. Short. Genomics understanding really give us a more depth understanding about our genomic makeup, and how our body is interacting with the environment, with the medicine, with the food, with the lifestyle, with everything surround us. And nowadays نسمع كل حد يتكلم عن longevity. What is longevity? What is longevity from a genomic perspective? We know that our body gets aged by time. And while we are aging by time, our all metabolic genomics, it gets degraded by time. For a person to live younger, longer, or healthier for longer period, he need to have a certain practice in his life to adapt himself, not only by checking up frequently. Of course, إنه لازم يفحص باستمرار، لكن يعتمد على 6 main elements. It's very important. Food, whatever you eat will affect definitely your body. Sleep, الوقت اللي أنت تاخذه حق الراحة في جسمك وايد مهم، لأن أغلب الهرمونات في الجسم تنبني في فترة الرقاد، وخاصة فترة الظلام في الليل. لذلك our bodies were built to work in light, sleep in dark. الستريس وايد يأثر على صحة الإنسان. الستريس induce apoptosis. Apoptosis is a cell death mechanism. It happens within your body. أحيانا نقول أنا ما سويت شيء بس كنت متضايق وياني ستروك، يعني يتني مشكلة صحية بسبب الستريس اللي هو كان يمر فيه. كذلك أن إحنا دائما نعطي مثال واضح على اللونجيفيتي بالنبتة. النبتة اللي أنت محطنها برا في الشمس، ما تسقيها ما تسمدها، بتموت بسرعة. والجسم كذلك، إذا أنت جبت هذه النبتة في البيت، حطيتها في الظل، سقيتها، زرعتها، أعطيتها احتياجها من الغذاء والماء والشيد، it will live longer with you. And this is your body. The way you treat it, the way it will interact. Living younger, healthier is a goal. And for a woman, of course, longevity is a main element. And I think, longevity is our target.
إن شاء الله طولة العمر إن شاء الله بصحة عافية. دكتورة هبة, like if AI existed 10 years ago and it controlled the lab, you wouldn't have met me.
I would have liked, come on, Dr. Mohammed, come on, look at all of this data, come on. I know, and earlier, as you have mentioned, earlier on, when it comes to AI, it took more than a month to look at data, or even more and more. But now, with a fraction of the time, data can be looked at. Plus, it can factor in the literature, it can factor in other data points, and then it comes up with alerts where it still needs to be verified. I still am a big believer that everything needs to be verified by humans. And I can also elaborate more on the mental health, because this is something of interest as well to me as a healthcare professional and as a woman as well. Mental health, AI taps into the mental health of women in multiple ways. First of all, it can give you alert by looking at your cycles, whether you're perimenopausal, whether you're, see what I mentioned first, perimenopausal, whether you're perimenopausal, whether you're postpartum, and so on. It looks at your hormonal changes, it looks at biomarker, it looks at your genetic profile, it looks at so many, and it can give you early alerts for you to seek help if that is needed. It looks at your moods, disturbances, your sleep patterns. So I think mental health might be something that is underutilized at the moment, and it might need to be looked at more in the future. In addition, it's interesting not just for mental health. I think, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I think there are now all of these applications and chatbots that actually talks to you. I know we do not want a robot to talk to us, but maybe it might be that just initial quick intervention before you seek help. It gives you mental support, it counsels you, it tells you, you know what, probably you need to go see a healthcare professional because of so and so and so. So I think this is something very interesting, and thanks, Sheikh Ali, for actually bringing it up. Mental health is very important, I think. Not just for women, for all.
Thank you.
But we're more prone.
Thank you very much, Doctora. Thank you very much, doctors. I think we're running out of time, so we're gonna have to end it here. But thank you very much for your thought-provoking answers, and I really wish that AI is gonna be a very, let's say, will be integrated within health in general and women's health as well, just to ease the lives of the people. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, panelists. Before we move to our break, we'd like to invite Sheikh Abdur and His Excellency Hussein Al-Mahmoudi to the stage for the thank you trophies to our speakers and partners. Dr. Ibtisam Al-Mazrou'i. Her Excellency Dr. Hawa Al-Mansouri. Sheikh Dr. Ali Al-Qasimi. Dr. Muhammad Al-Amri. Dr. Sheikh Al-Mazrou'i. Dr. Hiba Al-Hmeidan. We would like to go ahead and award the speakers for the upcoming panel as well. Badr Al-Awadi. Method Methan. مشعل تصدق. شدا البورنو. ياسمين العنزي. مريم الأنصاري. Now our partners, Live by Emirates MBD. Air Arabia. Islamic World Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, ISESCO. High College of Technology, Sharjah Campus. Thank you, Sheikh Abdur and His Excellency Hussein, for presenting the awards. Before we proceed to the next session, we have a short break. Please take this time to network, recharge, and reflect on the inspiring discussions we've had so far. See you in 15 minutes.